Good morning, it's Elaine with Elaine's Custom Cards with a brand new card for you today. This card is using some free items from Celebration. I am using the flower or the cake, Happy Birthday to You. It's free with a $50 purchase for shipping and tax. And then I'm using, which is this. And then I'm using the coordinating dies that are available now that you can purchase that coordinate with this. So I'm using that. And then, well, I'm using the sentiment, the cake, and the to you from this one. And then I'm using an embossing folder from Power of Hope bundle here. Very pretty, but too much shadow there. That looks better. So it's this embossing folder, and it's part of this Power of Hope bundle. You get the stamp set and the embossing folder free with a $100 purchase before shipping and tax. So we're using that. And then for the sentiment on the inside here, I'm using So Sentimental, wishing you much happiness today and always. So that is what I'm using for the inside of the card. Now let me tell you how the dimensions and such that we're doing here. So I already stamped the sentiment for the inside. And what I did was I took my sponge dauber and some Rococo Rose, and this piece is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So I just lightly sponged around the edges with my Rococo Rose. It just kind of makes it stand out a little bit better without adding another piece of cardstock behind it, which you could do if you wanted. But I didn't want to make the card too heavy because the front's going to be kind of heavy. So I did that to that, and then I also did it to the sentiment that I put on the front. Now on this one I put the to you with Rococo Rose, but I think I like it better this way. You'll have to tell me which way you like it better. And this piece is 3 1/4 by 1 inch. And then I just used the corner rounder punch, this one, the triple trio punch, or whatever it's called, and I just used that to round the corners below the happy and above the birthday on the corner. And then I sponged around this with Rococo Rose, just like so. So we'll set that aside for now so it can dry a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on the inside, and I just used liquid glue. The card base is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and it's a top, folds at the top here. So we'll just put that, center that in the card. I don't know why that looks a little off, but it should be, it's fine. 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. I'm pretty sure that's what this one is. This one seems to be a little, well, it's a little bit shorter, but it looks fine. I should have measured it, but it'll work. So let's use our bone folder on that because we want it to be flat. There. Okay. Now, let's start with this. I went ahead and embossed this, and it is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I stamped my cake several times. You don't have to do all this coloring on the cake because we're going to layer it, but I wanted it just in case you could see it underneath. I didn't want it white. So I went ahead and colored it, and then I used Wink of Stella on the part all over the cake because I want it to be shiny, because we're going to use this piece which comes from the dies, and it's the stand. I cut off this part after I cut out the cake, and I punched out this die, or this cake stand, or die cut it with the glimmer paper. So I'm going to glue these together, and you just need a very thin line of glue along the top of this. Now you could do this after you glue it to the front of your card if you wish. Doesn't matter. But I wanted to do it before, so hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just lining this up at the bottom of the cake, just like so. Looks like the cake's sitting in that cake stand. And then once I did that, I went ahead and glued it to the front of the card. And I'm using liquid glue. You could pop this up if you want on dimensionals, but I didn't want that much dimensionals because I'm going to pop up the other flowers. So then you need to put it kind of towards the top so that you have room for your sentiment at the bottom. Just like so. Kind of center it in there. Make sure it's not crooked. It's like that. Okay, then, as you can see on this card, you can see some candles right here. These candles are in the annual catalog, and they're called candle embellishments. And I thought, oh, I have those little candles, I'm going to use them on this cake. So my suggestion, which I didn't do on this one, is to put these on there before you put these flowers on. And I put silver ones on here, and I'm using gold ones on this one. But you could do whichever you want. I just thought I'd be different. So I put it so it looked like it was on top of the cake. And you're going to be covering this flower up with this, so the other one you need to put on there before you attach that flower. And they're self-adhesive, so they've got little sticky on the back like the gems do, which makes it really nice because I don't know that it would stick very well if you didn't. So then you just kind of put this, I had this up a little higher, which you could do. Doesn't really matter. I think I'll do that with this one too, maybe. And get it on there straight. Oh, that's too high. There. That looks good. Okay. And once you do that, let me tell you how I colored the flowers. I used Stampin' Blends, and I used the light Rococo Rose on these flowers. Don't worry about those flowers, they're going to be covered up, but I just colored them because I like the color. Anyway, I used the light, and then I used the dark and blended, and I'll show you an example of how I did that. And then I used dark So Saffron for these little, whatever they are, I don't know, something embellishment on the roses. And then I used the dark Granny Apple Green for the leaves, and then I used the dark Basic Black for the center of the flowers. So that's how I did that. And then I did another one, cut out this flower. It's going to go on the inside. Okay, so once you do that, I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. And I put 3 on there. and put it at the bottom of the card, or the bottom of the card front. And we're gonna pop up this card front also on the front of this. And this is Purple Posy cardstock, in case I didn't say that. Now we're going to take this piece after you've colored it, and you're going to pop it up. But you need to make sure that you don't get your dimensional on the top of your, or right where your candle is. So you put one there, one there. It doesn't take a lot. I think I put 4 on there. I don't know why my throat gets dry talking too much. Get a drink of water. Okay, so we'll pop this up on dimensionals. This is, once you do all the coloring and embossing and then die cutting, this is a really simple card to put together. Okay, now you just kind of line this up so it matches those flowers on the front. Just like so. And then I took a piece of Whisper White ribbon. Now there's Whisper White ribbon in the mini catalog, and you can color it with your Stampin' Blends, and I just colored this with the light Rococo Rose. And then I put a glue dot on the back because I'm going to put it on this glimmer paper, and glue doesn't work. You got to use a glue dot. Or you can tie it around that base before you put it on here, but I thought this worked just as well. Okay, then we're going to pop this up on the front of this card, and I have a bunch of pieces from around the edge of these just lost it. Stampin' Dimensionals. That's what I was trying to think of. And I just used, I did several because the front of that card is a little bit heavy. So I wanted to make sure there was enough on here. One more for good measure. Right there. Okay. That uses up those. So now we're going to adhere this to the front of the card. We're almost done. I want to remind you that this is the best time to sign up as a demonstrator if you would like and get a 20% discount. It is only $99. You get $125 worth of product plus the mini cutter, a packet of 6x6 paper that's a sampling of what's in the mini catalog, and a stamp set of your choice, all for $99, no shipping. I'm not sure. Oregon doesn't have a tax, so if you got tax in your state, then you'll pay tax. And then you just kind of center that on the front of the card, just like that. Okay? If you don't want to become a demonstrator and you just want to become my customer, that'd be wonderful. I'd love to have you. You just go to my website and you can order these products. Email me if you have any questions whatsoever. And if you order $50 before shipping and tax, I will send you a free packet of the basic rhinestones. And if you sign up as a demonstrator under me, I will also send you a free packet. Then I took my Wink of Stella, and I already did the cake because I wanted to make sure everywhere on the cake got shiny. Kind of have to be careful with this because it will make the inks kind of spread. So I just put Wink of Stella on everything. All over the card. Flowers, those little yellow things. You can always add more if you get it in the light and you can't really see it. So that's what I did with that. And then I took my basic rhinestones and I put, it looks like these medium-sized ones in the centers of these flowers. Just like so. Oops, get over there. These are kind of messed up on here. So that's the front of your card. Then for the inside, I cut out one of the, just cut out this whole thing. There's a die that cuts out just these flowers, and then you can trim around this one because it has a very thin connection right here between those two flowers. And I cut this one out because I want it on the inside. And I just glued that down like so at the top. You can glue it at the bottom, at the top, wherever is pleasing to your eye. I just put it at the top right here in the corner, just like so. And I had it hanging over the edges a little bit. And then I took my Wink of Stella and colored this one as well. Just because I wanted it shiny as well. And so I put Wink of Stella on it. Just like that. And that's your card. And let me show you how I colored the flowers, just so you know. I have a little flower here, a scrap of paper, because it will bleed through. And I took I didn't do any shading on the leaves, so you just color those, the green. I just colored the flower with the light Rococo Rose, and I took the dark and did a little bit of shading, just wherever you think it should be shaded. I put some on there. Then I went back with the light and blended it, just like so. So you couldn't see a definite line. And then I took green, the Granny Apple Green, colored my leaves. Just solid green. I didn't do any shading on this because I didn't think it needed it. They were pretty small. And here's some little leaves here. And those little bits right there look like rosebuds, so I used the dark Rococo Rose on there. I put black in the center here, but you could use yellow. This is So Saffron, and I just put So Saffron on the center of those. That's how I colored the flowers. I did it the same way on this part, this cake. I had cut that off. You could use it like this if you don't want to use that other cake stand. But these fit perfectly over the top of that. And you can pop up just one or none. It's up to you. But that's your card for today. I hope you like it and have a blessed day. Please I really appreciate it when you like my videos and subscribe. Then you'll get notices of future videos. And share. I love it when you share and case my cards. Thank you so much for watching.